Next question. Move on to your second question, please.
So this question is also from Sharma. And she writes that the panel feels that many people, especially those from diverse ethnic backgrounds, are unaware of what constitutes their basic human rights, especially when they have moved to Scotland as adults. Can the Minister outline her commitment to ensuring all communities and people of all ages, including new Scots, are educated on their human rights by explaining the opportunities that the upcoming Human Rights Bill will bring, including how the bill might link to national indicators and measuring the progress of existing equality and anti-racism strategies?
I'm glad to hear the word opportunity there to describe the process of the Human Rights Bill coming forward, because that is an important and exciting part of what we're doing here. It's not simply about incorporating these 4 treaties into Scots law as far as we can, but it is an opportunity also to inform people and raise awareness about the rights that they have and will have once the treaties are incorporated. So I think implementing the legislation effectively and communicating it effectively will be as important as passing this very ambitious piece of legislation. And that's why we've established an implementation working group to develop early thinking in this space, including on how to best raise awareness of the rights within the bill. I think it's essential that the work here is targeted, so we're ensuring that those communities who may at the moment be furthest from accessing those rights, furthest from power, have a greater understanding of what the bill does for them. The bill itself will create a duty on ministers to publish a human rights scheme, which will require regular reporting on what Scottish ministers are doing to implement the bill, including on awareness raising. So we'll continue to develop our thinking on how this links to the National Performance Framework, as well as broader work across government, including on anti-racism.
Thank you, and I appreciate what you say about this being a work in progress, and the discussion, that the political discussion about this legislation being that phenomenal opportunity to be talking about rights more generally across society. I think you speak about, you know, targeted work to make sure that people are who are furthest away from power, who are most often marginalised, most often excluded, is really important. And I think we've had discussions here before around, you know, the easy to ignore groups of people who don't have a voice. And I think this panel is one opportunity of trying to redress that balance. It doesn't go the full way. But I suppose one of the questions that comes out of what you said for me is, people need to know about their rights in order to know whether they are accessing them, whether they are realising them. But I think there's also information that's needed, probably by people in this building as well, about what we mean by you have a right to housing. You know, what does that actually mean? What kind of house? You know, is it just any form of shelter over your head, or does it have to be warm, you know, secure, all of that kind of thing? And I think, yeah, there's something about, and I'm interested in the implementation group's work. Is there something around building that understanding of what we might describe as a definition of the minimum core in terms of our obligations?
Certainly, this is forming a very key part of the discussions around the Human Rights Bill, and I think that's why we have put a focus on access to justice, because rights have to mean something, and not having them realised or not being able to access them has to mean something. So that's, and I hope I can count on the members' support in spreading these issues throughout the progress of the bill, because we need to get this right. And I appreciate the input from stakeholders and the public so far, and I hope that continues throughout the process of the bill.